fellas, we're back in season
Back at it.
4.
What?
Episode 44.
I was going to say, are we on the 4s now? We've
4 already?
But it's episode 5. of
Brady,
season 4.
we've been on season 4 for probably 7 episodes now.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah. No, we're on episode 5 of season 4. So, yeah, number 44. We're slowly creeping toward 50.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal. They say I believe it's like 20 or 30% of all podcasts actually like clip the 50 mark.
Let's
Most
go.
people give up by then. So it's a big deal.
Hey, thank you to all the listeners. Obviously, YouTube's picking up big traction. Adam, we were talking about that before the show came on. And just thank you guys so much for listening, for watching. We truly value that and love your feedback. Like we had someone reach out to us this past week on the podcast, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, we had somebody reach out on this one that we posted last week where you guys were talking about Fix It Now.
Yep.
We're talking about leadership, and we posted a question like, when do you step in strategically and when you step in emotionally? And somebody had commented, and they were like, well, I'm kind of interested in this because this is what I think. So,
Somebody else,
Good.
But
somebody else said, I wish my boss would listen to this one.
I told Benji.
Hey, you know what? Like and share. You can share with them.
We have somebody that comments a lot like, I wish this person would do this. It just cracks me up. So, but hey, you're making influence. So,
Hey, social media platform, you can tag your boss in it.
Oh,
well, I'm
man,
glad you're still
bad
here.
idea.
We're 44 episodes and you're still sitting here every morning. I know you're busy.
I told Sarah the other
Yeah.
day, I'm convinced this podcast is taking off because Brady's on.
That's 100% what it is. So nobody listens.
Glad to be here.
listen to you.
Glad to
So
be here.
You do great. Well, hey, so we're getting ready to jump in today. So our topic today, Benji, I'm gonna pitch it to you in a minute, but you're talking a little bit about beyond the bottom line.
Yep.
We were talking before the show, and I was like, what does that mean? I mean, we understand what the bottom line is.
Yep.
But what do you mean when you're talking about going beyond that? So kind of kick off a little bit, talk a little bit what we're going to hit on today and where we're going to go.
Yeah, so we're talking about, again, beyond the bottom line. Everybody thinks that profit, and it is, profit is the way you sustain your business. Even nonprofit companies, they have to show a zero balance at the end of the year, but they don't have money. They can't operate their nonprofit, let's be honest. But today is more about beyond the bottom line, leading with integrity, leading with ethics. So we're going to talk about some things that people don't really think about. Profit matters, but it's not the point. So today in Higher Up, we're going to explore what it means to lead beyond the bottom line by anchoring business decisions in integrity, character, and kingdom ethics. Big shift there.
good.
This is a conversation for leaders who want to win in business without losing their soul. So we all know that problems come up. We all know that things happen. And in today's business culture, some people often say, if it works, it works, right? Some people, like I've always said, control what you can control, right? And that's true. Control what you can control. There is a statement out there we all know, customer is always right. Let's be honest. Within reason, the customer is always right. But I think what happens a lot of times is kingdom leadership would ask, is it right? Right. And so you can say if it works in the business world, but in the kingdom world, is it actually the right thing to do? So that's just a different way to think about it. Success versus significance. Yes, we want to be successful with the bottom line. Yes, that's how we operate our business. But significance in the kingdom world matters more to Brady and I than anything that we could possibly do. So just a quote to think about today, okay? Profit is a measure of success, but integrity is a measure of leadership. So let's talk about this for a second. In the business world, what do we gain with the bottom line leadership? What do we gain?
Bottom line leadership.
Yeah. What does that mean to you?
My first thought really goes to, there's a big buzzword that's out there like ownership mindset. Okay. And everybody's like, we want everybody to have an ownership mindset. I mean, even one of our core values is extreme ownership.
Yep.
Which, listen, I am not debunking that at all. Okay. But when we talk about from a kingdom perspective or leadership perspective, and Benji, we say this all the time, and we even tell our employees this, is we don't really see ourselves as owners of this company.
Correct.
We really see ourselves as stewards of the company. So when you are stewarding or managing something for somebody else, in our case, we do have a boss. He just happens to sit in heaven.
Yep.
Right? Then it gives you a different mindset of what leadership really is because you're doing it for somebody else. I mean, at the end of the day, we are accountable to him for what we do. So what do we gain by good leadership is we gain what we're able to do not only for our Heavenly Father, but we gain what we're able to do by spreading that news and being a good example. We don't do a good job of that all the time.
Sure, yeah.
You know, we're not. We mess up a lot. I'm sure I've already messed up this morning at some point. You know, but that's what you gain with leadership is just it's mindset first. Like, what are we doing it for, or who are we doing it for?
Who we're doing it for, yep.
And that's what really changes the game.
Yeah, think about bottom line leadership is what did we gain, but kingdom leadership is who did we become. So great analogy you use there. You know, I know we say this all the time. We tell our kids, I'm sure you tell your kids this, what do you do when nobody's watching?
Yeah.
Right? How do you handle pressure? Do you take shortcuts? Like, think about the job that you have to do. We were talking about before the show today that Cane's, thank you, Cane's, has opened in Birmingham, Alabama, finally.
Not a sponsor, by the way. But you can be. You're welcome to be. I will put the sauce on the table.
Dude, I had like 10 of those sauces last night. I ain't lying.
You know you can buy a cup of it for like $6, right?
Really? Is that
Just
on the
throwing that out
menu?
there. I know it's totally. I think it's a secret menu. Anyways,
But to the point is Cane's opened in Birmingham, all right? And yes, our family waited an hour and 42 minutes in the drive-through.
Wait,
Crazy.
hold on. Let me make sure we get this straight. Y'all waited an hour and 42 minutes for fast food chicken.
Yes.
chicken and fries that you probably could either one go to Guthrie's for
Chick-fil-A?
or Chick-fil-A. Well, I will say.
Oh, by the way, Max said on the way home, Chick-fil-A had like 3 people in the drive-thru.
yeah.
She was laughing as we went by because we go there, but she's like, ha ha, it's so funny.
I mean, it's a little like. How'd you spend your night last night? What'd you do with your time? I sat in line for an hour and 45 minutes.
But an hour and 42 minutes waited in the drive-thru.
Sorry,
Here's the question. I bet you there was 50 workers, 50, not 15, 50 workers in there, and probably 10 of those workers were from some other location helping them get their system set up. You think they allowed them to take shortcuts? I mean, no. They had to have the sauce right, the chicken right, the breading right, the fries right, the oven, the whatever machines they have going in there to keep the stuff hot and cooked and what have you. They didn't allow any gray areas. So you can grow revenue fast. Obviously, people waiting an hour and 42 minutes, to get chicken. And it was like that all day yesterday.
Wow.
Okay. You can grow revenue fast, but you can still shrink your character because what happens when nobody's watching, you don't want to take shortcuts. So what are kingdom ethics in business? Okay. Let's break it down a little bit. You have honesty over the hype. Tell the truth even when it costs you. I'll give you a story. There was a team that I heard this a couple weeks ago that was doing a job at a customer's house, and it was not our team. I want to preface that. It was not our team.
No.
So they were doing this cleanup at someone's home. Again, you guys know that we're in the fire and water restoration business and construction business, and they were doing a cleanup, and they saw a snake in the house. Now, the customer was not there. And so there's water. So you think snake water, right? They killed the snake and took the snake out in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, so far what I'm hearing is they did everything right.
They did, yeah.
I would have done the same
They
thing.
come
probably.
home and customer goes, "Where's my snake?" It was their pet snake.
Oh, gosh.
And so the customer's like, "Where's the snake?" And the crew's like, I don't know. I mean, I have no clue where I don't know what you're talking about. Now, they should have fessed up, right?
Yeah.
They should have fessed up and said something. But again, tell the truth even when it costs you, because it might cost you.
Yeah.
But tell the truth. People over process. We have a thing of core value, people first.
Yep.
People over the process. Efficiency never excuses disrespect because you have to have people to be successful. All right. Next, stewardship. You mentioned that word earlier. Over entitlement. You don't own it all. We just manage it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just manage it. And then long-term faithfulness over a short-term win. Brady, we have always prided ourselves and our team on doing the right thing. Now, I'm sure we make mistakes like any company would, but we always do the right thing. There's a statement that we've had for years. If it didn't get documented, it didn't get done.
Didn't get done.
Right? It didn't happen. Like it never even happened, did not happen, right? So kingdom ethics don't slow our business down, but they stabilize it. Because if we do the right thing, we will win, even if it does cost us.
Yeah, that Benji, when you talk about long-term faithfulness over short-term wins, it reminds me of, I think it's Eugene Peterson. He's the guy that wrote the Message Bible.
Oh yeah,
the one that's really long, it's got a lot of stuff in there. But he talks about this thing that, the Christian walk is long obedience in the same direction. So it's the long game. It's not the decisions that it is the decision that you make right now,
Right.
but for a long-term impact. It's not, I can just make this decision and get by with it. I hope nobody else saw that. I hope nobody else witnessed that, but and God knows. And so the Christian walk, or even in business, I remember, I think it was a book that he wrote, but, or a question that John Maxwell got asked one time. Somebody asked him, they said, "Hey, can you tell me what business ethics are?" He said, "There's no such thing." He says, "No such thing as business ethics." They were like,
Yeah.
okay.
Explain more there.
Explain that one, Dewey.
He said, "There's just ethics.
That's true.
You either have ethics or you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have business ethics and you have personal ethics. You just have ethics."
Mm-hmm.
And so like you said, character is who you are and what you do when nobody else is watching. It's not that you compartmentalize business over here and personal over here. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's something good and challenging for all of us, because, when we think of a concept, I think I'm still gonna, I hope nobody steals this idea, but I'm gonna write a book one day called "Running a Business While Walking with God."
You mentioned that.
This will be the first real clip, so everybody gets that idea.
You
Okay.
can write those
So,
on like applications.
I'm gonna go. Let's go ahead and patent it. So
Copyright.
But think about that. We are running. I mean, anybody that's in business, you're busy all day long.
Oh, for
You're
sure.
meetings and tasks and all the things. But how do we stabilize that? To slow down a little bit, to make sure that we're doing the right things instead of just getting from thing to thing to thing to thing.
Yeah.
At least that's what I get into.
Yeah, it's a great point, because the real test of integrity says, again, do the right things. And it's not tested when things are easy. It's tested when you have these three things. You try to cut corners to save money.
Yeah.
Right? That's not a good thing. And we tell our team all the time, do it the right way, follow the same process, we win in the long run. Blaming someone else who would protect your image. It's big, don't blame someone else. If you made a mistake, let's own up to the problem. Let's own up to it. Hey, man, I'm sorry I made a mistake. I was talking to one of our leadership team the other day, and they walked up and they said, "Man, I'm sorry this happened."
Yeah.
I've had to do the same thing. Hey, I said the wrong thing. I didn't. It wasn't intended to be on purpose, but it really should be looking like this.
Yeah.
And then staying silent would be more convenient than speaking up. If you see something, say something. Like if you're on the other end of the spectrum and you see someone cutting a corner, you see someone in your business, your leadership, your team, say something. Don't worry about what happens. It's better to be honest than not.
Yeah.
Honesty goes a long way. Listeners, here's a question for you. What decisions are you postponing because it cost you something? Something to think about. What decisions are you postponing because it cost you something? I love this quote, that integrity is choosing what's right when what's easy is right there. That's a good statement. Integrity is choosing what, by the way, I did not write this. So, but
This is not my quote.
This is not my quote. I wish it was. Integrity is choosing what's right when what's easy is right there. Leading people, not just the results. Okay. Yes, we have to lead from the bottom line. We do. We have to be profitable. We have to grow. We have to reinvest. But it's not just that. We still have to lead people. I'm a firm believer. Brady's a firm believer. And Adam, you've been with us. How many years you been with us now?
It'll be almost 8.
8 years?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Feels
Long
like
time.
20.
Feels like 20.
so think about this. We value our people that are a part of our company. And honestly, man, it's like culture is a big thing nowadays. The reason the people stay with us, we believe, is we want to pour into them and them to see more value in what they can become, because they may not get it at home. They may not see it at home. They have obviously life happens. We spend more time here than we do with our own, our own families.
Yeah.
So it's leading the people, not just the results. Employees don't follow the mission statements, which I think, Brady, ours is fantastic. They follow the model. Think about that. Mission is great, is important. The mission statement is important, but they follow the model. And if we're going to have, I'll use this example all the time. People are like, at my church, they're like, why do you pick up stuff all the time? Because guess what? Somebody's watching.
Yeah.
If I walk over that piece of trash, they think
Yep.
they can. But in
That's right.
subconsciously, they might go, I need to pick that up. Do the right thing. Regardless if anybody else is watching or not, do the right thing. Here's something to think about. Is your team constantly, listeners, is your team constantly talking about the competition all the time in a bad way? Think about that.
Yeah.
You
Good
know,
thought.
if you are, there was a great quote one day that someone mentioned. It worked for us. They were at one of our centers of influence office talking to them, doing a class or something, and a competitor question got brought up to one of our individuals, and it was like clockwork. Huck McKelvin, if you're listening, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about right now.
Of course, it's
Shout out to
No,
Huck.
it wasn't Huck, but he says this statement all the time. And the guy, I mean, it was like instantaneous. He said, "Well, they're just not in the same business we are." Like what the client was saying was, "Well, this is what your competitor," and he had a choice right then. He could have said something negative about the competition, but he chose to say, "They're just not in the same business we are. This is how we do it." So always go back to what your business does. Don't worry about the other people.
Yeah.
You can control your own business, right?
That's right.
How do you handle failure?
It's good.
How do you handle, we all handle failure differently. Some people get stressed. Some people get excited. Some people take it and they're like, you know what? I'm not going to fail anymore. I'm going to change my outcome, change the way that I do things. Here's one. How do you treat the least powerful person in the room? And what I mean by that is if you have an entry-level employee that has day one on the job, they're now part of your team. They're not a day one employee. They're a person, people first. They're a person that has come on your team. How do you treat that person? And this would be for their coworkers too. Yeah. Oh, there's the new guy in the room. No. Hey, man, they're a part of the team. Come on, let me show you the way. Let me teach you how it's done right. Yeah. The culture, listeners, the culture that we tolerate becomes the culture that we teach. We talk about culture all the time.
Yeah, because, I mean, people are looking. Like you said, people are looking at you. Mm-hmm. You know, we've said it all the time. And going back to John Maxwell, he says a good leader is one that knows the way, goes the way, shows the way.
Absolutely.
You have to do those things. You are the model. You are what people are looking for. And that's, and listen, let's just be honest. Okay. This is a leadership podcast, right? That's hard.
It is hard.
That is tough because you feel like that as leaders, and I'm just speaking for myself, you know, how do you handle failure? It's hard to think about that. It's hard to, I mean, we don't want to fail.
Yeah,
absolutely. We don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to do wrong, but it's going to happen. And it's not that it's not going to happen, but like you said, owning up to it and saying, "Hey, you know what? Yes, this happened, and I'm sorry. I apologize," or whatever the case may be. It's hard for us because we feel like that we've got to have it all together, and that's just not true.
It's okay, to your point, to admit we've made a mistake, even as an owner, even as a manager. For you managers listening, so just a couple quick takeaways, okay, from a leadership takeaways. Integrity is not a strategy. It's a standard. Integrity has to be number one. If you're going to live beyond the bottom line, you have to have good integrity. I shouldn't even say good integrity. You should have to have integrity, period. Yeah. So then secondly, kingdom leadership means this: winning without compromising. You know, we talk about, as a Christian, we have the Holy Spirit with us. Now, our Holy Spirit is our guide, our comfort, our peace. We know that.
Yep.
But we should never compromise. You've probably seen, I know, in the cartoons, you got the good person, bad person sitting on the person's shoulder, you know, and they're all talking back and forth to each other. Good always wins. Good always wins. It's in every, you're a big, what do you call, good, like Spider-Man, Superman, what do you call that?
Oh, you're
Action
superheroes?
Yeah, superheroes. You're a big superhero person, you know. You always see good and evil, right? Good and evil. Good always wins. So growing without crushing people. If there is a mistake, we always praise in public. We always deal with things behind the scenes with the individual. Don't ever do it in front of a group of people because you don't want someone else to, you know, feel like, oh man, they talked about me or whatever. You know, praise in public, criticize in private. And then last but not least, succeeding without selling out. Succeeding without selling out. Leadership that honors God always outlives leadership that only chases growth. And that's the reason why we do this podcast. We can have, Brady, we've had down years. We had one in 2025. The first quarter of 2025, I was talking with some leadership that are in the same circles as us in the company that we serve, and they had the same problems we did. But the leadership team, we never lost sight of the fact that God is number one, and we have to understand that honoring God always outlives chasing growth.
Yeah.
We still can have growth. I mean, look at Chick-fil-A. They're open 6 days a week, and they're closed 1 day a week, and they do more revenue.
They're still one of the top ones.
Yeah, they do like double or triple the revenue that a McDonald's would, you know. Honor God. So a couple reflection pieces before we close out. Listeners, this week, to ask yourself, where am I tempted to compromise? Where am I tempted to compromise? Secondly, what does obedience look like in my leadership right now? What am I trying to be obedient about with my leadership? And then thirdly, who benefits from the way that I lead? Who benefits from that? Because again, Brady, people are watching. They're watching us. How we operate, how we do things, what we say, how we say it, they're watching. At the end of the day, here's the question. The question isn't, did it work? The question should be, was I faithful? Was I faithful? So listeners, again, thank you so much for listening and tuning in to another episode of the Higher Up Podcast. As always, you can find us on any social platform out there. You can subscribe at higheruppodcast.com /subscribe to whatever platform you'd like. If you're listening to us for the first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Go back and listen to the other 43 episodes.
43. Let's go.
So let's go out and choose to live a higher up life. We'll see you next time.
Right.